Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. And it's time for a bit of an update on Kanye West's latest full-length LP, Donda. It dropped earlier this year. I reviewed it, positive review, respected the hell out of the project. There were a lot of characteristics to it that I thought were great, whether it be its interesting features, stark production, the concepts orbiting around spirituality and Kanye's mother. And as much as I enjoyed it, I came away from this project assuming, on account of the somewhat chaotic rollout, that we would be getting some updates to it at some point, which in fact we did. There was a moment on streaming where we had just two Dondas, the original Donda version and the updated version that featured changes such as, the removal of Casey from Keep My Spirit Alive, a few other alterations as well, but ultimately this Donda update that we got, I didn't see as super substantive. I thought it was not really a huge change or addition to the original record. But now we're getting a deluxe version, which is now much longer than the original version, clocks in at well over 2 hours now. I guess with the release of this deluxe version, the original Donda that I reviewed, that many people listened to the evening that it dropped, that is gone now. So now we just have the deluxe Donda version and the updated Donda version. Those are the two Dondas now. And while that's not the worst thing in the world, and the stuff that I did like from the original Donda does make it onto the deluxe version, like that Casey feature from Keep My Spirit Alive, which is now titled as Keep My Spirit Alive Part 2. So yeah, that stuff is on here, but I think getting rid of the original Donda was sort of a mistake because, again, now we're just kind of left with the updated version and this totally mangled deluxe that is, what even is this? You know, all the great tracks that made Donda such a compelling record to begin with are here, and there are some extras. Up From the Ashes got added to the track list, which is fine, not a favorite of mine, but, still cool. As with Never Abandon Your Family, which was a favorite of mine from the listening parties. Life of the Party, the track that Drake leaked with Andre 3000, makes it into the record as well. But these extras are not thrown onto the end of the record as if they are just mere bonus tracks. No, they're like mixed into the track list of the LP as if like they were here all along with part 2 versions of tracks from the original record, like Remote Control, which the part 2 of Remote Control has Kid Cudi on it now. So, that's great. The glob, 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 glob appearance on the back end of the track is extended as well. But now this part 2 version of Remote Control is in the middle of the record, whereas the original comes more toward the end of the record. And again, not even like toward the very back end where you might expect bonus tracks and extras to be. So it's like we have the original track list of the record, and now there's just like 2 remote controls and 2 Jesus Lords. And honestly, that's just the start of the weird tracklist changes on this thing that make absolutely no sense. Like, for one, Jail coming later in the first half now, which Jail is an excellent first song for the LP. Why that now needs to come later after Hurricane and Moon, I really don't know why. And even more confusing is tracks like Come to Life, which on the original version were amazing climaxes, amazing, beautiful climaxes for the end of the record, now come before the halfway point. Speaking of Come to Life, instead of having a Come to Life Part 2, what we have now on this deluxe version is a version of Come to Life with Tyler, the Creator, doing some background vocals on it, and they're not awful, but they're not great either. I wouldn't really argue they add all that much to the song, nor are they mixed into the track all that well either. Kanye's vocal performance on that track, in my opinion, is enough. It doesn't really need Tyler there in the mix, and if you weren't told that it was Tyler singing background on that track, you probably wouldn't have guessed it was him anyway. I'm kind of regretting my feelings about Kanye continuing to change and alter this record, honestly, because while I did very much enjoy the alterations that he he made to Life of Pablo, which is why I made my Redux review for that record in the first place, because the album's latest version, in my opinion, had been vastly improved over the original version. The more Kanye touches up Donda, the worse it seems to get, because the first round of updates were almost completely pointless, and this latest round doesn't really add that much to the record, despite it being, so much longer than 2 hours now. The track list is absolutely ruined. Life of the Party being added is cool because I feel like, it's an essential part of the Donda album progression story up to this point, especially, with the whole Drake leak and everything, but having it right on the front end of the LP just doesn't really make all that much sense to me. Yeah, this doesn't really so much feel like a deluxe version as much as it feels like a mess version. Take the original record, but just swish it around and mess it up beyond recognition, and that's pretty much what you have here. It just looks like a compilation now, and I think that's I don't know, sort of unflattering for a record that is about topics and themes that are so pivotal to Kanye. Because this record's statement originally, I think, was really reinforced by the progression of these songs, which is just now completely upended for no reason whatsoever. But yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on that. Love you guys. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Donda, Deluxe, forever.